Looks like Orlando Brown is back on our timelines, and this time, he is allegedly dropping tea on the Kardashian-West household. And I'm talking about Northwest literally being a satanic offering. Allegedly. Now look, we all know Orlando's history. He has said some incredibly erratic things in the past, and a lot of times people just dismiss him. But lately, with all these wild Hollywood exposés actually turning out to be true, and given how North has been moving lately, honey, I'm not entirely dismissing any claims, even though North specifically said that she's not demonic and believes in Jesus.
Do you love Jesus? Of course I love Jesus. That's my Lord and Savior. People be thinking I'm dark and stuff, but I'm really not.
Well, regardless of what she said, I'm sure y'all have noticed how North has been sporting some very extreme looks. And I'm talking about dermal piercings, which sit flat under the skin all over her fingers, hands, and even running up her wrists. Then there's also been the piercings on her face, which, real or not, are just making people draw all sorts of conclusions. Now here's the thing. Because North is placing metal studs directly into the skin of her hands, commenters are claiming this is a symbolic prep or a physical manifestation of being marked by the elite. And anyone who is into witchcraft will tell you that making incisions or putting metal into specific places on the body was viewed as opening a portal or making a physical blood covenant with dark spirits. In addition, North has also rocked a bridge piercing, which is basically the metal bar that goes right across the top of the nose, between the eyes. In spiritual and occult practices, this exact spot is the location of the Ajna chakra, commonly known as the third eye, or the Eye of Horus, and it represents spiritual sight, intuition, and stepping into the unseen world. I mean, do you think it's a coincidence that the piercing is on the exact spot of a symbolic pinning or locking of the third eye? As you think about that, something else is that people are pointing out that dermal hand piercings are notoriously painful to get, easy to snag, and highly prone to infection or rejection. And that brings us to the other point, which is pain as a ritualistic tool. Ask yourself this: why would a parent let a kid go through that kind of pain for a permanent or even a temporary look? This is where the satanic rumors get heavy, guys. Historically, in certain practices, body modification and pain-enduring rituals were used to induce altered states of consciousness to connect with deities. And critics are claiming that Kim and Kanye allowing these heavy modifications at such a young age is a form of desensitization to pain, mimicking ancient initiation rites. Look, guys, we know North is a creative kid, and Kim has literally come out and said some of these hand studs are just stickers, and that she wants to let North express herself. But you cannot deny the imagery is heavy, and this is exactly what someone like Orlando Brown is saying, that it's possible that all this is not just a coincidence. Speaking of initiations, by the way, other than the current concerns, people have always said that Kim and Kanye have prepped Northwest since she was born, and it's been evident over the years with how her mom dressed her. See, as early as 2014, when North was only a year old, Kim was dressing her in matching clothes. And at the Paris Fashion Week's Givenchy show, North was in a risque black lace see-through mesh dress. In 2018, when North was 5 years old, some fans ranted at Kim for sharing a picture of her daughter in a skimpy yellow bikini top. Again in 2022, Kim was also slammed for dressing North in an inappropriate satin corset for her Aunt Kourtney Kardashian's Italian wedding. In another instance, when North turned 12, she and other family members went to Mexico, but Northwest's appearance went viral, shocking people with how different Northwest and her cousin looked despite being the same age. Not long after this, North stepped out in a structured, corset-style bodice paired with a flowing, ruffled miniskirt and completing her look with steampunk-inspired boots. Now, on its own, the outfit ate, but when you consider that this is a 12-year-old that was rocking it, a lot of people were just like, this is too much for her age, and within no time, we had parents expressing their concern at what they perceived as age-inappropriate styling choices, with particular criticism focused on the outfit's form-fitting elements. Well, for conspiracy theorists, this was all part of the initiation rituals. Also remember when there was a celebration of The Lion King and its legacy at the Hollywood Bowl in LA, filmed for release on Disney+, and the event featured performances by artists who worked on various film and theatrical adaptations through the years. I mean, many of the artists were Tony and Oscar winners and professional Broadway dancers. And then there was a performance by Northwest singing "I Just Can't Wait to Be King," which was painful to watch, to say the least. First of all, North's singing was mediocre at best, and her performance seemed totally unrehearsed. In fact, The dancers could be seen pushing her to her marks, and it was all just chaotic. And to make matters worse, she was introduced by the OG VO of young Simba, who did not sing the song "I Just Can't Wait to Be King," and left so North could completely butcher the song. Now, while most people assumed North was a nepotistic hire or paid her way in with her parents' help, some said that this was simply a humiliation ritual. Of course, y'all know that for some weird reason, for someone to be handed the fame and fortune in Hollywood, they always have to go through some sort of humiliation ritual. And some said that that was it for North West. And when we consider all those old rumors about Kanye's bizarre fashion shows, the red rooms, and the sacrifices the family allegedly made, baby, it's giving, this is not just an allegation. Anywho, once again, these are just some of the things that Orlando has allegedly been saying behind the scenes. And I know some of y'all will still say we probably shouldn't take him seriously given his history. And I honestly get it. This is someone who in 2016 was arrested twice on charges of DV, obstruction of justice, possession with the intent to sell, and possession of contraband in jail. Some people will also point to his erratic behavior, disjointed speech, and the sheer gravity of his claims against high-profile figures as evidence of a mental health crisis. So yes, it's possible that these allegations represent a tragic cry for help from a former child star who may be suffering from untreated psychological issues or the long-term effects of substance use, leading many to call for a professional psychiatric evaluation. And when I'm talking about other crazy claims he has made, this is what I mean, y'all. For starters, he previously claimed Michael Jackson was a father figure or even his biological father, claiming his name is Orlando Brown Prince Michael Jackson Jr., and strangely compared himself to Michael Jackson. In addition, he also mentioned being trapped with regards to MJ, which some fans interpreted as an allusion to being held in secret locations, possibly in those alleged underground Michael Jackson tunnels.
What's up with Nick?
If you compare your career to somebody, who would it be?
Michael Jackson. That's me.
Never.
You're a liar.
What?
Well, what I can tell you about these alleged tunnels is that guests have confirmed that Neverland contained several unconventional architectural elements, though many were designed for Michael Jackson's desire for privacy or his fascination with Peter Pan themes. Actually, workers at his former NYC townhouse also reported finding small passageways connecting various rooms, though some architectural historians suggest these may have been original 19th century servant passages designed to keep staff out of sight. Anyway, guys, the same has also made the most hilarious allegations against Diddy.
Yo, Diddy, you gave me the ooshkash koosmash. You gave me the ooshkash muaf, the smooshmash. Diddy. Yeah, son. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You gave me the ooshkash muash. I love it, yo. I love it. You gave me the ooshkash muash.
And during an interview on No Jumper, Orlando brought up Nicki Minaj while talking about women in the industry with infections. He accused her of having a very nasty, smelly kitty. He claimed he actually got into it with Nicki about her supposed smelly pee, and she almost ended up taking his life because of it. And he's also said a lot about the alleged relationship between Diddy and Nicki's ex, Meek Mill.
Puff. No. When he said, I was like, oh my God.
By the way, he has also made some very interesting comments about Nick Cannon and also Will Smith.
Don't you ever think that shit is cool? That was the first setup, bro. You raped me, then turned me into a kid. You feel me? Took my house, took all my shit, started my family members and all kind of shit. Bro. You a up person, my. You a up person. Yes, Will Smith is Michael Jackson, my got me.
And let's not forget the things he said about his own life. Like, Orlando appeared on Dr. Phil and opened up about his struggles with addiction and mental health. But the highlight of the interview was when he literally failed to remember the names of his kids and said that his 2-year-old was still in the belly.
I have a lot of kids, but I'll say I'll have 4 right now. That's exactly what I said. So me, as a father, still trying to jump back into that life and figure out who everybody is. You can't ridicule me for not knowing exactly.
I'm not ridiculing you.
All right, well, yeah, because I mean, of course I'm gonna make a mistake if I haven't seen my kids. They were taken from me.
But how long has it been since you've seen these kids?
Bro, honestly, I see my kids everywhere. But at the end of the day, like I said, I barely see them. I don't know them. They don't know me.
So, yes, it's easy to say that we should not take Orlando seriously, but we also can't ignore that some of the things he said when he was out of it actually turned out to be true and wildly accurate. Honestly, whether you believe Northwest's extreme hand and face piercings are just a teenager going through a high-fashion goth phase, or you think Orlando is spilling the tea on an actual elite satanic offering, well, that is entirely up to you to decide. But I'd sure love to know what your thoughts are. So sound off in the comments section below.